Today we're going to look at sewing on a button. So we've got our, what would be our finished garment, a needle, a straw needle, a button, thread, and a pair of scissors. To start, what we're going to do is cut a length of thread. Make sure it's no longer than the distance from your wrist to your elbow. I'm going to double it over. And then thread the two cut ends through the eye of the needle. And then pull it down so I've got 4 threads going through my needle. Make sure the thread is nice and smooth and taut and there's no extra loose bits around. So with the garment, this will be one of the last things that you do with it. Here I've just got a piece of fabric that's been folded over twice, so this would act as like the placket to the front of your garment. This could be separate or sewn on or lots of different variables, but this will just act as a sample for today. So what I'm going to do is I would mark a position for where my button's going to be that aligns with my buttonhole. I would do the buttonholes first and then come and do the buttons second, because you can move a button, you can't to match a buttonhole, you can't move a buttonhole to match a button. So what I'm going to do to start sewing is I'm not going to use a knot anywhere in my thread. What I'm going to do is start a distance away. So for example, if my buttonhole was going to be here, X marks the spot. I'm going to start back here with my needle, coming between my layers of fabric with my point coming up at the X. My needle's not coming through on the other side at this stage because what I want to do is carefully pull my threads until the tails disappear. So I'm not pulling it all the way through, I'm just getting to a point where they are disappeared into the end. I'm then going to do 2 stitches in place, coming through to the other side. So now I don't have a knot, but my thread is nice and secure, and just the little stitches on the other side are from my in-stitch place. Then I'm going to take my button. I'm just using a 2-hole button. You could be using a 4 or a shank. This process would also work. Threading through the button holes. Stitching through. So think about the depth of your garment that it's going to be where the buttonhole is. If it's quite a thick garment, you might want to create a little thread shank if you've got a flat button, or you might just loosely sit the button against your garment. Going to stitch 2, three times. I'm trying to come through in the same spot every time on this side, making sure my threads are nice and neat on the surface there. To knot it off, what I'm going to do is on the back, stitch in the same place twice, and then run my thread, my tail between my layers again. So I'm not coming out to this side, I'm just coming through on the back side and then snipping my thread off. So this button is going this direction. If it was a 2-hole button, depending on which direction my buttonhole was going, I might rotate the button so it was 90 degrees from here, and that's the step I need to do before I put my stitches through. But this one would be suitable for a buttonhole that was running up and down the garment.